Hey there, Stampers, and welcome to another Step It Up video. Okay, you're gonna have to bear with me today. I made these cards a couple of weeks ago, and I'll be a little probably disjointed because I haven't been making cards for, or at least videos. So let me get started. This is the Step 1 card, and Step 2, and Step 3. And they really are very... If you can do one, you can probably easily do 3. So I'm going to show you the basics because it's the same on all of them. We're using a crumb cake card base, the standard A2 size, which is 5.5 by 4.25. And then for the Step 1 card, we're using a Marina Mist card stock. And we are going to use Marina Mist ink. Let me show you the stamps we're using. We're using Fifth Avenue Floral, this one. We're going to use Fabulous Phrases for Heartfelt Gratitude. And then Daring Adventure, I'm using this flourishy thing, which I love, 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 love how it looks. And now I need a block. Hopefully I put it away and they can be found. Yes, here's a block. Okay, so we're going to start by inking this flourish in Marina Mist. And this is the same for all 3 cards. You're going to start by just creating your own background paper. And it's very fun and easy to do. And I usually start just sort of off and position it the way you like it, and then try to follow the pattern, even if it takes you off the paper. And I'm going probably a lot more quickly than I normally would. I would try to be a little more careful, and I would have a piece of copy paper or graph paper underneath so I could catch all the bits, but I'm running behind. It's Friday and this has to get posted tomorrow. I'm running behind. So you create your own background paper like so. Pretty easy, and it's very pretty, isn't it? And so all 3 cards share that in common. The only difference, and we're going to antique the edges. My favorite combination of inks always begin with Sahara Sand. Now, if you're using light paper, like white or vanilla, you're always going to want to start. I love the way Sahara Sand looks, and it gives a more subtle, instead of just, I put a lot of ink on here, and I love the way it works out. So play with it and see if you agree. But it just adds a little stain, a little aging effect, and it's very easy to do. I'm not going to do all 3, but you'll just go around and I'm sure it's probably hard for the camera to pick up, but you can see it is a nice subtle detail, and particularly on white or vanilla where you don't want to put early espresso on because it doesn't look aged. It just looks like you put a lot of ink on. So okay, you'll go around with the Sahara Sand, and then I use crumb cake, and I do the same thing. You go all the way around. Once you're finished with crumb cake, you'll add the last touch using just a little early espresso on the very edge. Like so. This is what you'll do for all 3. On the level 1, we go ahead and use it like this right on the card base. We have a square that we've also cut out and we've antiqued the same way, starting with Sahara Sand then adding the crumb cake, and then the final bit of early espresso. You're going to place that down. You're going to stamp whatever sentiment you want in black, and then just dovetail it, and you're going to add that at the end. You're going to use something I don't always think about, but I think it's a great thing to do, is to stamp and color on colored cardstock. And this may be a no-brainer for some of you, but I don't always think about it. So I'm going to use Stays On, and I'm going to get this flower, ink it up, stamp, and I would do this 3 times for the 3 cards, or just once for if you're making one. And then I would use my dry aqua painter, and I would come in and I would add either So Saffron or even Daffodil, and then I would come in and just add this color to deepen the cardstock and add shading and dimension to this stamped. But by using the colored cardstock, you already are ahead of the game on color and can just add this nice little effect quickly and easily, and it's pretty foolproof as long as you you know, have enough water to make it flow. And I always use a dry aqua painter. There's nothing in the barrel, and then I like to control my water by dipping it into this little medicine cup. Anyway, so you can see how I did that. So it's pretty easy. Then you're just going to cut it out. I actually went direct marker to make that darker. Then I used the 2-step bird punch using some black cardstock, and I just did the wing and the leaf, and I did it 3 times for each card. I'm just going to show you once. But what I did, just to give it a little more texture, I took the leaves and I just folded them over on themselves down the center, and just by putting your fingernail there, I don't know if you can see it, you just fold it like that, and it gives it some texture and life. And so I made 3 of those. On this card I didn't really do it. On the step 2 and 3 I did. You can see these are just flat, but on 2 and 3, and even with this is a wing, but I used it as a leaf, and I just folded it to make like a center stem like you would find in nature, and it just gave it a little texture. You see that? Let me pull this up. See if it focuses. You can see it. Anyway, so that's pretty easy for the step 1. You're just going to add your leaves and your cutout image, and then you're going to, last step is you're going to add 2 little basic rhinestones, and I popped this up on dimensionals. So easy. Step 2 is the same basic thing. The only difference is I took the base, and using my Big Shot, I ran it through the square lattice embossing folder, and then I matted it on a piece of black cardstock and put it on the crumb cake base. I did use, and I'll put the dimensions on the step 1, it's a 2 by 2 1/4, no, 2 by 2 crumb cake on that one. And this one is just a little bit larger. This is 2 1/2 by 2 1/4. And instead I added this little hemp twine detail, and I just wrapped it around the card base, and then I took a little extra piece and tied a double knot once I knew where I was going to position this piece. Again, I cut out the flower, I punched this 3 times, folded it up, and added it in a place that I thought was pleasing for the eye for this flower. I love the way the black makes that flower really pop, and the blue and the yellow look so pretty together. So that's all I did for the second card. For the third card, I added, instead of the hemp twine here, and you know what, this was a mistake, but it worked, so I didn't redo it. I really wanted the ribbon going this way as well, but I don't know, I was spacey. And I used the white organdy, trying to get it, sorry. The white organdy ribbon, and I knotted it at the bottom, and I cut it to a point, and I removed one thread and just pulled to make it gather like that, or you could pleat it to get it that way. This, instead of a square background for the flower, and I used the Stampin' Up Big's L Perfect Pennants die, and I don't know if you've used this or not. It's probably pretty hard to see. There's two different circles here. This one looks very much like the scallop border punch, and this one looks a little different. On this card, I used both and just sort of aligned the holes. It doesn't come out perfectly all the way around, but it does give a nice little detailed background that looks like it goes together, and maybe it is supposed to go together, but I really liked the way it looked, and I'm going to be using that a whole lot more. I haven't used it. And the dovetail sentiment is the same on all three cards. It's just whatever sentiment you like, cut out, dovetail, and I did roll it a bit so it had this, I just kind of rolled it on a pencil to give some body to it. But that's it, and I have a fun group of cards next week that I can't wait to show you, and I promise not to leave a big gap anymore. I get too out of practice, and then the videos are so bad. So I hope you found this helpful. Isn't it pretty color combination? I can't wait to give these out. So this is the step 1, step 2, and step 3. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.